Let's talk about compound interest. Now, you've probably heard that phrase thrown around, but do you really get just how powerful it is? This is way more than just another topic in your pre-calculus class. Honestly, it's a financial force of nature that can either build you a fortune or bury you in debt. So today, we're going to crack the code on compound interest so you can make sure it's working for you. You know, this quote, which they always say is from Einstein, just nails it. It perfectly captures this two-sided power. It can be your best friend for building wealth or your worst enemy when it comes to debt. And figuring out which side you're on, well, that's the whole game, isn't it? So how do we actually get this incredible force on our team? Well, it all starts with one key tool, one formula that shows you exactly how your money grows when interest gets tacked on at regular, set times. Okay, here it is. This is the engine behind everything, from a simple savings account to a hefty car loan. And I know, it might look a little intimidating with all those letters, but don't worry, we're going to break this thing down piece by piece, and you'll see just how simple and powerful it really is. So let's decode this thing. A is the big one. That's the final amount, what you end up with. P is your principal, which is just the starting cash you put in. R is your annual interest rate, super important. N is how often they calculate the interest each year. And T is just time, in years. Once you know these 5 pieces, you've basically mastered the formula. All right, theory is great, but let's see this thing in the real world. We're going to walk through an example, step by step. First things first, we just need to pull the key numbers, our variables, right out of the problem. Next up, we just slot those numbers right into our formula. Our principal, P, is $1,000. The rate, R, is 5%, or 0.05. It's compounded monthly, so N is 12, and we're leaving it in for 10 years, so T is 10. See? Just like filling in the blanks. And now for the fun part. You just grab a calculator and solve for A. Now, a word of warning here. You have to follow the order of operations. That little exponent up there can cause trouble. A pro tip is to always put parentheses around it in your calculator to make sure it gets calculated correctly. And there it is, $1,647.01. Think about that. Your original $1,000 earned you almost $650 without you lifting a finger. That's the magic of compounding. Your money starts working for you, earning its own money over time. Okay, so we've seen how it works with monthly compounding. But that begs the question, what happens if we hit the accelerator? What if we increase the frequency? Let's find out. This chart lays it out perfectly. Look at this. We have the same amount of money, the same interest rate, and the same amount of time. The only thing that changes is how often we compound. And you can see, the more frequently you do it, the more money you end up with. I mean, just by switching from annual to daily compounding, you end up with an extra $1,100. Why? Because your interest starts earning its own interest way sooner, and that just snowballs, accelerating the growth of your investment. So we've seen that faster is better, but it leads to a really cool question. What's the absolute limit? I mean, what if you could compound interest not just every day or every second, but at every single instant, continuously? Well, this idea leads us to a brand new formula and a very, very special number in math. And here it is. This is the formula for continuous compounding. A lot of people call it the PERT formula because, P-E-R-T. That little e in there is Euler's number, and it's this amazing mathematical constant that basically represents the absolute maximum speed limit of compound growth. So using our same example from before, if we compound that $10,000 continuously for 20 years, we end up with $33,201.17. Now let's put that right next to the number we got for daily compounding. All right, time for the final showdown, daily versus continuous. And wait a second. Look at that chart. Those bars look almost exactly the same. How can that be? Get this. The difference is only $3.31. This is a huge aha moment. It's the whole idea of a limit in action. As you compound more and more frequently, the extra money you get becomes smaller and smaller until you hit a wall. You've reached the point of diminishing returns. Now, up to this point, we've only been talking about how amazing compound interest is for growing your money. But remember that Einstein quote? This thing is a double-edged sword. When it's applied to debt, it can be absolutely devastating. Let's look at a scenario that is all too real for so many people, the credit card trap. You've got a high interest rate, they're compounding it daily, and suddenly a manageable balance can spiral completely out of control. After just 5 years, that $5,000 balance balloons to over $13,590. The interest you've paid is more than double what you originally owed. This is the dark side of compound interest, and it can wreck your financial life. So, to help you get this right, whether it's on a test or just figuring out your own finances, here are 2 common traps to avoid. First, the decimal danger. Always remember that 5% is 0.05, not zero point 0.5. Second, calculator chaos. Use those parentheses around your exponents. It'll save you from getting the wrong answer every time. So, as you can see, compound interest is one of the most powerful forces in finance. It can be a ladder to build wealth or a hole that traps you in debt. The only difference is understanding how it works and making sure it's on your side. So, take a minute and really think about it. In your life, right now, is compound interest your friend or your foe?